Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the first part of What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan. It's been a long way, I know, but I just can't wait to put this What If out for you guys. I never would have thought that this What If would have been so much fun to make, and I'm happy that I did it, and I'm also thankful that you guys suggested for me to do it. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
When the time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
There isn't much that happens before this, however Goku as a child will get power spikes during the heat of battle. The only times this occurred is with King Piccolo, TN and the RR base, which is short for Red Ribbon base. With King Piccolo his power reached as high as 1000 and with TN it reached past 800, this is much higher than anything he's ever experienced. Also his power slightly increases and only continues to increase even more as he continues his strenuous training. This What If starts in the middle of the Frieza saga. His power level is about 5 million. When he uses Kaioken times 20 it actually puts him far above 50% Frieza, but it's not for long so he can only gain the advantage for a short while. It's also very taxing on his body, so he isn't able to tap into so much power from the jump. Once Krillin dies, Goku gets completely overwhelmed by rage and fury. His power level starts to rise and the people around him can feel it wildly rising. The rocks around him float as his ki increases in power. His hair rises as he struggles to contain the power coursing through his veins. His main muscles enlarge and therefore make him more vascular, however streams of green energy start to form. The ground beneath him cracks under the pressurizing ki. His hair stays raised and his pupils burst during the transformation. His muscles then start to enlarge far more than the ordinary Super Saiyan form. This intimidates Frieza far more and makes him freeze in action. He's almost never seen someone become so powerful. He killed many millions to stop this very thing from happening, but it seems to have happened before his very eyes. His hair lights up in an emerald green and he roars, releasing an abundance of harsh and violent energy. Frieza falls back another step and Goku turns, showing off his white and fearsome eyes. Goku is much larger than normal from the form. I wouldn't say he looks like Broly or anything, but is probably around the size of base Broly from Dragon Ball Super Broly. Maybe a little smaller, but also much shorter since he just isn't that tall. Also, you could say that this form is a mix of Super Saiyan and the Wrathful form. There are many different multipliers, but I'll just make it 500 times to follow this theory. There isn't real evidence to form an actual multiplier, so in my perspective, it seems like the most plausible. This means that he has a power level of 2.5 billion. This is far more than enough to take down the Mad Tyrant. Frieza bursts out after his built-up fear and tries to remove the obvious threat. Goku just grabs his fist and pulls it down slowly. His completely white eyes strike far more fear into Frieza than the piercing blue eyes of Super Saiyan. His eyes showed intimidation, but this was truly fearsome. Goku punches him once and he crashes right through an entire rock wall, then ki condenses into his right palm similar to Broly's ki blast and he releases it directly ahead. Once it hits Frieza, it shreds part of his body and causes a massive explosion. To follow, he throws a bunch of these ki blasts into the open area, destroying Frieza in the process. Once the blasts die down, Frieza is revealed on his last leg. Blood covers his entire body and he struggles to even keep his arms up. In rage, he powers up to the buff 100% form, but this is still nowhere near enough to combat the Legendary Super Saiyan. Goku roars into the sky and his aura bursts out also. He flies forwards and Frieza believes that he can handle his next attack. He catches his powerful punch, but both of his arms snap and he's launched into the air. Goku then soars across the sky and spin kicks him further up into the air. This snaps 3 ribs on impact and propels the buff tyrant more than 15 meters away. After this, the Legendary Super Saiyan just goes berserk on Frieza. He releases powerful ki blasts and throws vicious punches and kicks that cause unbelievable damage. He has completely lost control and Frieza's demise is less than a minute away. All of his limbs are broken, so all he can do is fly around in unbearable agony and try and save himself. He hasn't even had enough time to destroy the planet and is far too invested in actually keeping himself alive. Goku grabs his broken arm and spin throws him into the air, both of his hands cloaking green ki as they form condensed ki blasts in both palms. His aura is fierce and pressurizing as it causes large waves below him in the water. Thunder roars above him and lightning strikes down next to him. Frieza mindlessly spins up as he is far too weak to keep himself steady. If everyone just left him now, he would die. However, Goku has lost far too much control to even consider this alternative. He has to die. His arms jerk out as he releases an attack similar to Broly's double eraser cannon. Frieza gets engulfed by the blast and is inevitably vaporized in it. Every part of his body is turned into bits of tissue and flesh floating in the abyss of space. Goku lands back on the rock beneath him and his hair drops down. It also falls back into its normal black state as he falls down onto the ground next to him. After exerting himself that much, he is exhausted. He can't even really remember what he did. Piccolo tries to explain it to him, but it's hard for Goku to comprehend since he can't remember a thing and it's just stupid anyway. Also, since the planet isn't literally about to explode, they are able to get off the planet with the help of Frieza's old ship. At the beginning of the Trunks saga, Frieza doesn't arrive, but instead, nobody but future Trunks does. The Z Fighters have been on Earth for a year since they didn't stop off at Planet Yardrat like Goku did. Goku is about twice as strong as his Kaioken himself when it comes to his base. He has no access to Super Saiyan but is able to go into Kaioken times 20 and still be somewhat functional after. Vegeta is the only one, certainly proudly, to have the power of the Super Saiyan. Goku doesn't have control of this form and only has gained glimpses of its ultimate power. Also, when fighting, his power can skyrocket and even rival his power if he had Super Saiyan. This is when he uses Kaioken, of course. Also, when he uses LSSJ for even just a second or two, he can reach levels of power so unbelievably high that it is almost unbelievable to his companions. Trunks arrives and starts by wanting to test Goku. Alright Goku, let's go, use Super Saiyan. Goku kinda shrugs and scratches the back of his head, saying, I can't really do that. Trunks closes his eyes and randomly starts shouting. His power level rises from a suppressed 5 and raises all the way up to his normal Super Saiyan power. Goku is amazed by the power he showcases and wonders if the form he used is actually this one. I can't do that, but I can do this. He begins using Kaioken times 20 and his orange gi flows under the intense aura of Kaioken. Flies right towards Trunks and lands the starting punch, which knocks Trunks far off course. While he flies back, he unsheathes his sword and tries to swing down from an attack. Goku dodges right past the swing and kicks him into the air. Trunks is surprised by the power that he has without even being a Super Saiyan and realizes the things that have changed. First of all, everyone was already here. Also, Goku doesn't have Super Saiyan but seems to be just as strong. Even if he did, it's certainly peculiar. They clash and Goku throws 2 power punches before kicking him several meters away. As Trunks starts trying to fly back to him, Goku extends out with a simple energy blast. Trunks slices it in half with ease and Goku also falls out with his powerful Kaioken. Trunks speed blitzes him and knocks him right onto his back. Trunks falls out of Super Saiyan and just wonders what's going on. If you're looking for the Super Saiyan, I'm the one to be looking for, Saiyan. Vegeta declares, stepping forward in his goofy pink shirt. What's his father wearing? Trunks mutters under his own breath. Vegeta engulfs in the raging ki of Super Saiyan and gets stronger by 50-fold. He then flies right towards Trunks and flip slams him into the ground. Trunks soars into the air then hurls down his sword. Vegeta slaps it away and increases his speed to catch up with Trunks. They both punch each other simultaneously then throw their bunch of attacks. Vegeta is clearly the one with superior power and he manages to break apart his opponent with powerful skilled attacks. Vegeta ducks under a punch and lands 2 gut punches before striking up with a close-up ki blast. As Trunks' head knocks up, Vegeta grabs him by the legs and powerfully slams him into the ground. Vegeta follows by leaping up and hurling down a large ki blast from above his head. The ball of condensed and destructive energy explodes and is basically a much weaker version of the Big Bang attack. This isn't exactly an attack unique to Vegeta, but it's just a big ki blast. Trunks stands with his torn and burnt clothing, clearly showing his loss by falling back into his base form. Vegeta lands ahead of him and also falls out of Super Saiyan. How dare you claim to be a Super Saiyan with such weakness, boy. Vegeta proudly declares, standing firm against his opponent. Trunks feels immense pain throughout his body. Vegeta might not have had much experience with this form, but he has much more power without any transformation stacked onto him. Trunks informs Goku of the 3-year training period they need to use to fight the incoming androids. Since Goku is a legendary Super Saiyan, he likely has a higher ability to gain power than even an ordinary Super Saiyan. During this training, Gohan has also showed signs of amazing power. He has the rage of his canon self, but it's amplified even further. Many believe he has somehow inherited the abilities of his father. Luckily, Goku can tap into his legendary Super Saiyan form and keep minor control. However, he doesn't remember much and finds it hard to talk or listen to people when they try and talk to him. He kind of transcends into a kill mode. Here are the rankings for the fighters. Goku is first by quite a huge margin. Even in his base, he can pretty much take out all of his companions. Next is Vegeta. He might not be the legendary Super Saiyan, but he is a Saiyan royal with amazing training willpower, having the unshakable will to try and go stronger than Goku. Next is Gohan. Gohan has amazing ability and is actually closing in on Vegeta. He is close to Super Saiyan but just isn't quite there yet. At times, his power level can raise past Vegeta in short bursts. Next is Piccolo. I believe that he would fuse with Kami beforehand because of the highly strong Saiyans. The Saiyans in this what if far exceed their canon counterparts, and the only person who is similar is Vegeta. Gohan is actually close to his base power, but since he isn't a Super Saiyan, he just can't compare to him in combat. He doesn't even have Kaioken either. As he fuses with Kami, this places him close to the 3 Saiyans and gives him an extra sense of calmness. He isn't just drenched in evil, but he isn't just omnibenevolent. Next are the humans. They are pretty much the same as canon. Tien, Krillin and Yamcha. Now, these Saiyans are ready to face the powerful androids. I'd say that Gohan is around 90% the strength of canon Goku's strength. This makes him very formidable for his age. They meet up after 3 years and they all look very different. Gohan has actually cut his hair so he has shorter hair length and he looks bigger. Once they meet, they feel people's life force disappearing in the city of Sasebo. However, they can't sense the culprit. Goku looks down and everyone looks to him to do something. While looking down the high rock hill, he raises off his feet and says, "Let's search." They all fly down into the city and spread out to try and find the androids. Goku lands on the ground and actually feels a direct line of people losing life force. He flies over a building, then lands in front of the 2 androids. "You'll pay for what you've done," Goku declares powerfully. "Let's fight away from here. There's too many innocent people." Android 20 steps forward and his eyes glow red. "Allow me to clear them out for you." He then laser beams all the human life and life in general in close proximity. This infuriates Goku and makes him want to kill these androids. He can barely contain himself. Even in his base, his power skyrockets and he becomes about twice as strong just off a power boost. He flies across the street and clashes right into Android 20. This makes him slide back a little, but he's able to punch him into the air with ease and launch out several ki blasts. Many of them land on Goku and tear apart his clothes. Dr. Gero then points to the distance and says, "Let's go there." Both him and Android 19 soar off into the distance. The rest of the Z fighters then follow after him. Once Goku lands in front of the androids, he is the only one of the fighters that are panting. It's odd since he is the strongest of the fighters, being tired out the easiest. He steps forward ahead of his companions and prepares to battle. His hair rustles under the breeze and he starts to power up. The ground below him cracks and his muscles enlarge, his eyes glow blue, then he transforms into a Super Saiyan as his hair brightens out to gold. He has both forms, Vegeta questions angrily. The Super Saiyan steps forward powerfully and unleashes his devastating aura. This makes the androids cower away, but Goku doesn't let them in the slightest. Once they turn to try and leave, Goku almost appears in front of them from his amazing speed and kicks Dr. Gero into the air. He throws a ki blast into 19 and swivel kicks him away, finishing with a 1-arm energy wave. This burns the rocky surface below it and forces 19 more than 10 meters away. As Dr. Gero dives down for an attack of his own, Goku soars into the air to dodge it. The ground caves in under the Doctor's amazing power, but Goku is doing just fine. In the fit of rage, Dr. Gero releases a massive double hand energy wave into the sky. It's very fast, but Goku is just about able to swerve out of the way to dodge the attack. The edge of the beam just about misses his back, but scorches his clothing. He acrobatically lands from flight, but then gets punched by 19. It makes him slide back and actually gives him a bruise. His breathing is heavy and the group can't understand what's happening. How could Goku ever lose to these people? Goku stands and notices his power slowly dwindling. It feels as if his power is a flame and drops of rain are starting to collect overhead. His power is slowly fading, so he tries to power up to rekindle that flame. However, nothing really changes. His aura is light and small, being unimpressive for all spectators. He flies towards 19 and throws out a powerful punch. 19 slides back but flips and kicks him into the air. Finally, he launches up a ki blast that jerks Goku's head back. Once this happens, 19 almost blurs behind him from his talented speed and grasps onto him, sucking out his ki. His hair drops right out of Super Saiyan, but his power starts to spike. His hair raises once again, but this time he taps into Kaioken times 20. The powerful aura pushes 19 off him, then he turns and elbows him to the ground. In one final attack, he musters all his strength and begins charging his ultimate attack. Waves of energy and wind emit from his body as the ball of blue energy grows within his 2 palms. 19 is wedged deep into rock right now and has to use his strong aura to break free. Goku roars as he lets free the powerful beam of blue energy, and once it comes into contact with the android, his body is vaporized and destroyed. Once his Kaioken fades, his body falls lifelessly from the sky. Dr. Gero sees this and is petrified. Since when was Goku able to exert this much force and cause so much damage? He prepared years for this, but this android was destroyed so easily. Nevertheless, these aren't the androids he was planning to pit against the fearsome Saiyan. Goku is quickly helped with the senzu bean, but his virus doesn't disappear. He is still weak and his ki signature displays his fact clearly. The Z fighters can literally sense the weakness in his body. Dr. Gero faces him and says, "Oh well, you might have taken out one of my androids, but watch what I have left in store for you all. You will pay for this," Gohan mutters while looking at the ground. "Oh, what's wrong? Scared, boy? You don't know what you're up against, Saiyan," he declares, staring at the slouched over boy. However, Gohan raises his head and reveals light blue eyes. "You'll pay for this." So that will conclude the opening part of What If Goku Was the Legendary Super Saiyan. This was so much fun to make. It's always fun going back to Dragon Ball Z for What Ifs. Please like the video for the algorithm and tell me what you liked about it in the comments. Also say anything that you think I should improve on for the next part. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.